Okay, welcome to today's explainer. We are jumping right into something that is honestly exhausting for just about every modern professional out there: digital tool fatigue. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? We are just completely swamped by the sheer volume of apps, tabs, and dashboards we're expected to juggle every single day. Instead of, actually doing the work we were hired to do, we spend our days managing the exact tools that were supposed to save us time. It's crazy. Well, today, we're putting a stop to that. We're going to break down the 2026 AI tech stack and figure out how to stop managing our work and start actually thinking again.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the productivity crisis. Then we'll move into building your digital foundation. After that, we'll cover AI for content creation, dive into assistants that do the work, and finally, wrap the whole thing up by curating your ultimate stack. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The productivity crisis and overcoming tool fatigue. We're starting right at the root of the problem, that glaring paradox where we somehow have more tools than ever before, but way less time to actually get stuff done.
Let me just ask you, point blank, are you paying the admin tax? Seriously, think about your average workday for a second. How much of it is burned writing update emails, manually copying data from one system to another, or endlessly playing calendar Tetris to schedule meetings? We are literally drowning in what researchers call work about work, and it is completely draining our potential.
And honestly, the hard data backing up that feeling of burnout is pretty wild. Research from Asana and McKinsey shows that a massive 58% of our time is lost entirely to admin and coordination. 58%. That leaves a tiny little 33% slice of our week for the actual skilled work we were brought on to do. We're spending more than half of our week just dealing with the logistics of having a job.
Then there's the financial side. $240 a month. That is the subscription trap so many creators and professionals fall into when they try to fix this mess. You grab ChatGPT for brainstorming, Midjourney for images, Perplexity for research, maybe throw Claude in there for long-form writing. Suddenly, you are shelling out hundreds of bucks a month. And honestly, what's even worse is you're draining your mental energy just constantly context switching between 5 different browser tabs.
Moving on to Section 2, building your digital foundation with cost-effective toolkits. Let's look at how we can actually build a setup from the ground up that solves these problems instead of just piling onto them.
But before we start naming specific tools, we really need to look at where the baseline is right now. According to Microsoft's Work Trend Index, 75% of global knowledge workers are already using generative AI. And get this, that adoption rate nearly doubled in just 6 months. So choosing the right digital foundation, it's really no longer optional if you want to stay competitive. It is an absolute necessity.
So what does a modern foundation actually look like? Well, let's compare legacy website builders with the cutting edge of 2026. For years, if you wanted a site without writing code, you went to platforms like Wix for that drag-and-drop freedom, or maybe Squarespace if you wanted strict visual styling. But today, look at platforms like Lovable. Lovable doesn't just build a static website. It literally turns your natural language descriptions into full-stack working React and TypeScript code. You get the front-end UI, the back-end databases, the authentication, all without paying massive developer costs. It's the difference between tossing up a digital brochure and generating a fully functional software app just by talking to an AI.
Section 3. AI for content creation and human-AI collaboration. This is where we layer on the engines that take hours of manual research and writing and compress them into just minutes of high-leverage editing. Let's walk through what the modern content workflow looks like, because 78% of content leaders now see this human-AI collaborative dance as the absolute gold standard. In Step 1, you might fire up ChatGPT 5 for some really brilliant creative ideation and outlining. Then, for Step 2, you pivot over to Claude for deep document analysis or Perplexity for real-time, properly cited research. And finally, Step 3, you run it through Google's Gemini for SEO optimization. You're basically acting as the conductor for an orchestra of highly specialized AI brains. And hey, it goes way beyond just text. Visual production bottlenecks? Pretty much eliminated. Midjourney V7 is churning out hyper-realistic photography from incredibly simple text prompts. Runway AI handles motion tracking and visual effects that used to require an entire studio team. Synthesia will generate professional training videos with AI avatars in minutes. And Perplexity acts as your dedicated research assistant, handing you reports with clickable, numbered citations so you never, ever have to stress about AI hallucinations.
But here's the crucial question. How do we tap into all this power without hitting that agonizing $240 monthly subscription trap we talked about earlier?
Enter the unified workspace. Platforms like Azelo give you access to ChatGPT 5, Claude Sonnet 4, Gemini 2.5 Pro, and Perplexity, all baked into one subscription for around $10 a month. You're saving over $1,000 a year. But more importantly, you completely eliminate the mental drain of switching tabs. You can even prompt all these models side by side to instantly see which one gives you the best result for whatever you're working on. Total game changer.
All right, Section 4, Assistants that do the work. Agents that execute. We have officially arrived at what I honestly believe is the single most vital paradigm shift in this entire explainer.
I really want to highlight the stark contrast here. A traditional productivity tool, think Notion for docs or Todoist for tasks, those are fantastic, but they really just give you another beautifully designed dashboard that you still have to manually populate and manage. You do the work. An AI assistant, on the other hand, like Alfred for your inbox or Motion for your calendar, actively executes those tasks for you. It does the work.
Let's take Alfred underscore as the perfect example of this. Remember how McKinsey found we lose 28% of our week just to email? Well, Alfred underscore is an autonomous agent that just quietly runs in the background. It reads your incoming emails, triages them by urgency, drafts replies in your actual unique tone of voice, and automatically pulls tasks and deadlines right into your to-do list. So instead of waking up to a mountain of 50 chaotic notifications, you just wake up to a nice, curated daily brief. It completely handles the loop on admin work.
And the financial toll of doing all this manually is just staggering. If you're a professional making $75,000 a year and you spend 58% of your time on admin, that is $43,500 of your salary literally lost to busy work. Trying to hire a human executive assistant to fix that, you're looking at upwards of $60,000 a year. But a premium AI assistant like Alfred, that'll run you about $540 for the entire year. The return on investment there is it's absolutely unreal.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, Curating your ultimate stack and fixing friction points. Let's tie all of this together and figure out how to match the right AI tools to your specific day-to-day bottlenecks.
The big secret here? You absolutely do not need dozens of tools. You just need to match your specific pain point to the exact AI tool built to solve it. If your problem is meeting overload and you're just drowning in notes, deploy Fireflies.ai to automatically transcribe and pull out your action items. If your day is pure scheduling chaos, let Motion dynamically auto-schedule your tasks into calendar blocks based on priority. Or, if visual design is your main bottleneck, lean heavily on Canvas Magic Studio. Just identify the time sink and deploy the specific AI countermeasure.
I want to leave you with this core takeaway from the source material we've unpacked today. Stop managing, start thinking. We have finally reached an era where you can just hand off the repetitive, soul-crushing busy work to autonomous agents. Your job is no longer to manage dashboards. Your job is to focus on the high-level, creative, strategic, skilled work that you are uniquely hired to do. So, I'm leaving you with one final, provocative question as we wrap up this explainer. Look at your calendar and your workflow for the rest of this week. Which task are you going to stop doing manually tomorrow? Your time is your absolute most valuable asset. It is time you let AI help you reclaim it. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.